Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that.
Canelo lands good punches. I think Canelo could hurt Crawford. Crawford's, first time in that division and jumping two divisions.
The way that Terence Crawford being, to me, my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can be Canelo. A 147-pounder moving up to 68.
Floyd Mayweather explains why Terence Crawford will never defeat Canelo Alvarez, pointing to the major weight gap. He stresses that moving up several divisions isn't just about skill, it's about enduring size, power, and stamina at the elite level. While Canelo has faced naturally bigger opponents his whole career, Crawford is stepping into uncharted territory. Mayweather believes this physical disadvantage will ultimately outweigh Crawford's technical brilliance.
Because of the weight disadvantage. I can't go all the way up to 180 or 190
Trainer
pounds.
Robert Garcia highlights Crawford's lack of experience at super middleweight as one of the biggest challenges of his career. Crawford has excelled across multiple weight classes, but stepping into Canelo's natural division is far more dangerous. Garcia notes that Canelo has spent years mastering his craft against bigger men, while Crawford hasn't yet proven he can maintain sharpness, speed, and endurance at this size. He warns that Crawford's body hasn't fully adapted, making him appear less explosive and fluid, something that could be costly against a champion like Canelo.
Jumping two divisions where he only had one fight at 154 and didn't look his best either. So there's a lot of questions, about that. And that's why a lot of people think Canelo is going to knock out Crawford. But I'm probably one of the only ones that I do give Crawford a chance. Yeah. I think Crawford could pull it off. Crawford is very talented. He's very fast. He's very smart in the ring. So I think a perfect fight, Crawford could pull off a decision.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think he could win a decision. I don't pick him. I wouldn't put my money on him winning because it's a very dangerous, risky fight, especially with Canelo being so strong. But Canelo's last few performances, he's looked slow, flat-footed, looking for one punch at a time. And if that's the Canelo that fights Crawford, Crawford could win a decision. Crawford could outbox him, could outsmart him, could land 3-4 punch combinations and move and win a decision. So do I give Crawford a chance? 100% think Crawford could pull it off. Would I put my money on it? Probably not, but I do give him a chance.
Yeah, good stuff. Look, Robert, appreciate you taking time to speak to me. I appreciate you letting me in the gym today. Always a pleasure. And hopefully be catching up sometime soon.
Thanks
appreciate
for coming.
it. Thank you.
Very
Cheers.
much.
Analyst Showbiz emphasizes the monumental stakes of the fight. If Crawford manages to overcome Canelo's size and power, his legacy would skyrocket, putting him alongside Floyd Mayweather in the all-time great conversation. A victory would cement him as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of his generation. Still, Showbiz stresses this wouldn't surpass Mayweather's undefeated career and unmatched dominance, it would instead place Crawford directly behind him. Regardless, this fight could define Crawford's place in boxing history.
3-time undisputed is insane. If you were to beat Canelo, Terence Crawford, at that point, pound for pound, right under Floyd. Right under Floyd. Wherever you got Floyd, I put whatever you got him, Terence Crawford is right behind him. Unless you got him first. Okay, how about me? Because I don't have Floyd in my top 10. I have Pacquiao over Floyd. So I know somebody's about to get moist, but I would put Terence Crawford, man, that's old school. That's Henry Armstrong, Sam Langford. Like that's old. That's Joe Gans and Barbados Joe Walcott and Barbados Joe, not Jersey. I'm Barbados. Like that's old school accomplishments. Man, that's throwback. I would have to assess that. 3-time undisputed in the 4-belt era, and against who? Yo, that I don't think Pacquiao would have I don't think he achieved anything in a single fight that would be greater than Terence Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes and beating Canelo. I don't think Pacquiao achieved anything in a single fight greater than that. Not in a single fight. beating Cotto, I still, because Cotto was weight drained. Has Floyd done anything? Well, he beat Canelo.
Jeff Mayweather pushes back on Canelo Alvarez's claim that Crawford is better than Floyd. He sees this as Canelo's way of softening the blow of his own loss to Floyd years ago. Jeff argues that while Crawford is immensely talented, he hasn't yet matched Floyd's dominance or accomplishments. For Jeff, Floyd's undefeated record and ability to handle the sport's best opponents leave no room for comparison until Crawford proves much more.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah. What was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game,
very
obviously.
Young, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose?
20s.
I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, so, and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying.
I mean, don't you? I mean,
want to make himself look like he did something great.
Coach Joel Diaz dismisses Crawford's chances, citing the overwhelming size difference. He reminds fans that Canelo has taken punches from heavy hitters like Gennady Golovkin and absorbed them. Diaz questions how Crawford, who has mostly faced men closer to his own size, could possibly hurt Canelo. He stresses that many fighters underestimate the toll of moving up in weight until they feel the power of naturally bigger opponents. In his view, Canelo's durability and strength create a mountain Crawford cannot climb.
You ask him who Skull is, they won't even know who he is. I don't even know who he is. But they chose him for a reason, right? A guy with a good record. But
he's a champion in the
division. Champion.
He's got the other stone that's out there that Canelo needs to connect. Again, to fight against Terence Crawford.
It's a fight for Canelo to win. Simple as that. That's what I can tell you.
Then in September, if Canelo wins, he's got Terence Crawford waiting in the wings.
There is no way that Terence Crawford, being to me my favorite fighter, the best fighter pound for pound, can beat Canelo. A 147-pounder moving up to 68, he can only maybe go 2-3 rounds, and then Canelo hits him and he hurts him. Canelo's being hit by Triple G, the hardest hitter in the division, and never hurt him. But Canelo will hit Crawford and he'll hurt him. Let's put it this way. You remember the fight Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade?
Yes.
Demetrius Andrade was a great fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him at 54. He moved to 60. Fought 1 or 2. Nobody wanted to fight him at 60. So what did he do? He moved up to 68 because there was nothing for him to fight Benavidez, a big fighter like that. Look what he did in the first early round. Demetrius Andrade was in control. He was doing great. But once that weight starts kicking in, it takes over. There is no way that Crawford can beat Canelo. Turkey on the sheet. It's a big fan of Terence Crawford. He wants to give him a good payday, and simple as that. That's all it is, man.
Debate over the ring size adds another layer to the discussion. Supporters of Crawford argue that a bigger ring would allow him to use movement and angles to neutralize Canelo's pressure. However, analysts point out that Canelo has fought in both small and large rings, always finding ways to adjust. While ring dimensions may give Crawford a slight edge, experts agree they won't offset Canelo's natural size and power. The fight will come down to execution, not square footage.
One of the biggest things in this Canelo-Crawford fight we are not talking about is the ring size. If these guys are fighting in the non-traditional 18-by-18 ring, you're gonna want to put your money on Canelo, guys. It is a big difference. Losing out on that extra 4 feet is going to be an issue for Crawford. It's still possible. Crawford's talented. He's athletic. He has all the potential in the world to pull off a crazy upset here. No matter the ring size. It don't matter. Terence Crawford's that brilliant. He's that excellent. But I'm going to tell you, man, losing out on that 4 feet is gonna hurt his odds. It's the same thing with 22 feet. Like I said, I don't know what ring they're going with, but if it is in the 22 feet, it's gonna hurt Canelo's odds by a pretty decent margin. Maybe not as much as it's gonna hurt Crawford odds in the 18, but it's still gonna hurt it. You're giving Crawford an extra 4 feet to pivot, maneuver, slip, bob, weave, do whatever he wants. That's gonna give Canelo some issues. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I heard Turkey said it was gonna be at 18. That was a really long time ago. Like I said, I don't know if they've confirmed what it's gonna be quite yet, but I think it's interesting. Once we get the official announcement, you guys, that's when you place your bets.
Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. boosted fans' confidence in his chances against Canelo. That fight displayed his timing, adaptability, and ruthless finishing ability. But analysts caution that Spence isn't a naturally larger man like Canelo. They note that Crawford has yet to face someone like Israil Madrimov or other naturally bigger fighters. Meanwhile, Canelo has already dealt with larger opponents and thrived. The question remains whether Crawford's brilliance at welterweight will hold up against a physically imposing super middleweight.
Hey y'all, the simple real fact is, Terence Crawford never looked that good fighting anybody but Errol Spence. Another real fact is, y'all put too much on Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Y'all act like he just beat fucking Jesus or Thanos or something. Okay, I get it. Errol Spence was that guy. He beat him. He dominated him. He won that fight. But y'all take that and y'all put so much on that fight, but then y'all look at the Madrimov fight and say, he was a tricky fighter. He's hard for anybody. No one can beat Madrimov. He's the second best fighter in the world because he went 12 rounds with Crawford. Not the case. Y'all put too much on the Errol Spence fight and y'all don't put enough on the Madrimov fight. Then we go back to Canelo. Y'all say Canelo, he don't stop nobody. When last time he knocked nobody? If he can't knock out Berlanga, he's not going to knock out. If he can't knock out him, he's not going to knock out Crawford, bruh. Just like Crawford went up to 54 and he couldn't get a knockout, Canelo has went up to 75. He couldn't knock out Bivol. He went up to 68. And those guys are way bigger. He's fighting guys way bigger than him. Crawford could knock out Madrimov because he's his size. So you think he's going to knock out Canelo? He's bigger than Canelo. Bro, Canelo got a granite chin. I don't know if y'all know the Canelo. And the only people who saying that Crawford's going to knock Canelo out is people who has to be casuals. They probably have not watched the fight since the Tank last fight, or they probably ain't watched the fight since the Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford fight, because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all niggas didn't even see that Madrimov fight. Y'all just synced it and y'all running with it. Cut it out.
Gabe Rosado reflects on Canelo's loss to Mayweather, calling it a pivotal moment. At the time, Canelo was inexperienced and unprepared for Floyd's defensive mastery. But Rosado argues that the loss helped shape Canelo into the fighter he is today, more confident, more complete, and more dangerous. Now, Crawford must deal with a seasoned, battle-tested version of Alvarez, not the young fighter who lost to Mayweather.
Could be too soon for Xander, but who knows, man? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like Canelo needed more seasoning when he fought Floyd? Or do you think that Floyd just got his number, period?
Yeah, I think he was very inexperienced when he fought Floyd. You know, he's a different fighter, but see, everybody's different. That fight is what made Canelo become the fighter that he is today. So, you know, that's why boxing, man, is like when they shame guys for losses, it's like, man, you just got to really see how a fighter bounces back from a loss. It's like, because, you know, when Canelo lost to Floyd, there was a lot of things that Canelo learned in that fight that he added to his game. Next thing you know, Canelo started moving his head and his counters got better and his speed, and he understood timing. He understood how to like break guys down differently because he learned that off Floyd. So I think it was a good learning experience for Canelo. And then, you know, I think that kind of fight is gonna help him in the Crawford fight.
Sebastian Fundora warns that Crawford may underestimate the toll of fighting at super middleweight. Competing at that level isn't just about training, it's about years of physical adaptation, something Canelo has mastered. Crawford, however, is stepping into this division for the first time. Fundora believes the physical and mental strain could be exposed not only during the fight but in its aftermath, showing just how demanding it is to challenge someone who has made this weight his home.
Could be. We'll see what PBC has for us.
To play with Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo, yeah.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo being Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
What about Ennis? He's the new addition to 154. He's yet to fight there. Canelo brought him in camp specifically because he's a switch hitter like Terence Crawford. What do you make of Ennis just not being in your division and then him contributing to Canelo's camp, letting into this fight? Is that a good move?
I think it's good for Canelo's camp to have a fighter like Ennis. Because, yeah, he likes to switch right-handed, southpaw. I think Canelo probably didn't need that. But, you know, the fact that Ennis went might cause a little bit of drama. I think he did for a dramatic effect. But, you know, great fighter at 147, but 154 is a different division. They have me in there, so we'll see what he can do.
Analysts also debate the entertainment value of Crawford's style compared to Canelo's. While Crawford is technically brilliant, some argue his fights lack the explosive drama casual fans love. Canelo, by contrast, has built a reputation for excitement, knockouts, body shot clinics, and high-stakes battles. Even if Crawford beats Canelo, experts suggest he won't automatically become the face of boxing. To truly claim that status, he would need to defeat other top names like Dimitri Bivol, proving he can consistently handle bigger, more dangerous opposition.
More nervous, you know, the closer you get, the more outlandish these statements were. We had one outlandish one that his fighting style is not entertaining. Right? Canelo's fighting style is more entertaining than Terence Crawford's. I don't know what lens you're looking through, right? Well, why isn't Terence Crawford's fighting style entertaining? So that's one thing. Well, here's the next one. Now, I don't know. Check this out. They're saying that Terence Crawford won't even be great if he were to defeat Canelo Alvarez. He won't be great if he defeats Canelo Alvarez because all the stuff he's done until now, becoming two-division undisputed, beating a lot of undefeated fighters and a lot of fighters with one loss, seems to not be anything. But even beating Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, four-division champion, undisputed super middleweight champion, none of that would matter because they list fighters that he would have to beat to become great. And most of them are fighters that four-division champ, Canelo Alvarez, that he won't fight. He would have to beat Artur Beterbiev, right? Canelo ain't fighting him. He would have to beat Dimitri Bivol, who Canelo won't fight again, definitely at 168 pounds, because he wants to fight him at 175, because he wants to have the excuse that that weight could be too big for him. Dimitri Bivol wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168, so he can become two-division undisputed. Canelo doesn't want that. But Crawford has to beat that guy, right? Crawford has to beat David Benavidez as well, right? We know Canelo doesn't want to fight him, but Crawford has to beat him to become great, right? Remember, Canelo's great already. Then he would have to fight David Morrell.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more coverage and analysis.